Miss Marvel is the latest series to debut and enter the MCU, while also making her one of the youngest to join the roster of superheroes. But other than this, Miss Marvel marks an important milestone for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, what kind of milestone could this be? Make sure to watch today's video to find out, so tune in for more. First up, this is the reason why the Marvel Cinematic Universe needs to celebrate Miss Marvel as a significant milestone. British actor Rish Shah made his acting debut in the latest MCU series, Miss Marvel, which he hopes will make people feel safe. And in case you haven't seen it yet, Miss Marvel centers on 16-year-old Kamala Khan, a Pakistani-Muslim girl gifted with superpowers, who also happens to be the first hero of said nationality in the MCU. In 2014, Kamala Khan made her comic book series Miss Marvel debut, and since then the character has received both critical and financial praise. According to the production notes for the show, the first issue is already in its 7th print run and is quickly becoming one of Marvel's best-selling collections. A coming-of-age tale, the 6-episode Disney Plus series deals with puberty's awkwardness, rejecting your strict immigrant parents, and navigating high school influencers. It's true that the show also depicts the typical life of a high school girl, but it's not every day people get to see a Pakistani-Muslim teenager lead a series that is the first of its kind. In the 2nd episode, Rish Shah, who plays Kamala's love interest Cameron, makes an appearance. And in a recent interview, the actor claims he can identify with the characters and expresses hope that viewers would feel validated. He revealed to ABC News that it took him a long time to realize how proud and cool it would be to represent their culture. It took me a long time growing up to kind of accept that it's cool to be Indian or Pakistani or South Asian in general, Shah also added. And that's something that I hold so dearly and close to my chest now, is that journey that I've gone on while seeing Kamala go on that similar journey of self-discovery. The show represents a significant improvement in the franchise's diversity of representation. Kamala falls in love with Cameron as soon as he appears on television. They become friends over Bollywood music and films, and Cameron offers to teach her how to drive. Cameron's persona still comes across as a mysterious presence on the show, despite Shah's claims that he is a mama's boy. The show's directors, Adil El-Arbi and Bilal Farah, wish to portray the struggles of teenagers like Kamala, who is caught right in the middle of two different cultures. Like two of the show's directors, Kamala, who is portrayed by newbie Iman Vellani, struggles with the tension between her family's culture and Western culture, similar to the two directors of the show. Adil El-Arbi and Bilal Farah recently came together to work on Will Smith and Martin Lawrence's film Bad Boys for Life, and Farah claims that there are a lot of relatable things in Miss Marvel too. We're Belgian Moroccan, so we don't really feel Belgian, don't really feel Moroccan. Certainly when you're 16 years old, you're trying to figure out who you are, Farah, who co-directed 2 episodes, says. Farah continued by saying that Kamala Khan is caught between the cultures of America and Islam in Pakistan, and that watching her in high school while awkward, unsure of who she is, and attempting to make friends reminded him perfectly of his own high school years. He claims that although this is just a common tale, hearing it from a Pakistani woman from New Jersey made it very special. In the first episode, Kamala is only interested in attending Avengers Con with her best friend Bruno, Matt Lintz, which is similar to Comic-Con but concentrates on the Avengers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She enjoys writing and sketching fan fictions about the Avengers, much to her parents' dismay. As we said earlier, representation plays such importance in the series, especially since the whole team wishes to showcase the beautiful culture of Muslims. In a statement, Sana Amanat, the executive producer and co-creator of Kamala's character, said that they found it to be a lot of fun to present many Muslim perspectives. Amanat emphasizes how unique each Muslim is and how they each contribute a small part of themselves to the story. The show is a significant step forward for inclusivity and visibility in the MCU, even if it portrays a universal tale of growing up while adjusting to new superpowers. In certain episodes, we see code switching, or the parents and kids speaking in different languages while having the same conversation, which is a regular occurrence in immigrant families. Khan's mother packs a bag full of handmade food for her closest friend Bruno in one scene, illustrating the strain of attempting to adjust to life in the West without upsetting your parents. Miss Marvel, according to director El-Arbi, is a very vivacious, upbeat, and colorful show that not only will speak to all Muslims worldwide, but also has a universal appeal, allowing even non-Muslims to identify with, emphasize with, and love the character. Miss Marvel is is important because it could, with any luck, pave the way for more of these tales to be told in subtle and profound ways. Amanat said that she believes the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, and Marvel in general are just beginning to sort of emphasize that any kind of individual can be a superhero and that they kind of are just like any one of us. Pakistani activist Malala Yousafzai remarked that it's not every day that she switches on the TV and finds a character that consumes the same foods, enjoys the same music, or uses the same Urdu expressions as her, and is already a well-known admirer of the program. So if you haven't watched it yet, this is a sign to watch Ms. Marvel, which is currently streaming on Disney+. Now that we already got that out of the way, Ms. Marvel is also praised for perfecting the Avengers Endgame's distorted time loop. How so? Keep on watching to find out more. The confusing time loop people complained about in Avengers Endgame was made perfect in the 5th episode of Ms. Marvel. The confusing time loop was one of Avengers Endgame's most divisive elements, wherein many issues arose when Earth's mightiest heroes traveled back in time to collect Infinity Stones to stop Thanos' snap, including Steve Rogers fighting himself, Loki escaping one universe, and the Hulk speaking with the Ancient One. However, Old Man Steve remained behind, and remained hidden as all of the events of the Marvel Cinematic Universe took place, proving that this was a closed loop. The writers, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, occasionally offered different explanations than the directors, which left the Russo brothers with many unanswered questions regarding the fractured timelines, ripple effects, and split worlds. The fans nevertheless persevered through the chaos and entered Phase 4. MCU fans do, however, have one example of how this loop might have been optimized, and it comes from Ms. Marvel. Now, here's how Ms. Marvel explained this confusing timeline, at least in their own way. Kamala Khan was sent back to 1947 during the partition in the 5th episode. The series constructed a straightforward, closed loop, reminiscent of Netflix's Dark, where Jonas and his German classmates' actions in the past had an impact on the present, while Muslims were fleeing from India to the newly created Pakistan. In Kamala's case, Aisha, her great-granny, was the focal point. She eventually came across Aisha bleeding out after being stabbed by clandestine commander Najma to obtain the power bracelet. Sana was not Aisha's daughter, so Aisha persuaded Kamala to use her supernatural abilities to save Sana. Sana was subsequently led by Kamala back to her father Hassan, using her energy creations, and she made up the tale that her grandmother had followed a trail of stars to find him. The bangle was activated when Kamala put it on in the first scene of the present, because Aisha had transferred her essence into it shortly before she passed away, which wrapped up the adventure. It completed the circle by having Aisha drag Kamala down the path to Pakistan and her elderly grandmother Sana, which ultimately resulted in Kamala returning to save young Sana. It ties up loose ends with Aisha's history and explains why she vanished when Hassan and Sana left India, as well as Kamala's and Sana's origins. Granted, Endgame required its intricately designed moving components to shatter reality for Kong's purported multiverse war to begin. However, one can't help but believe that the plot could have been handled better if the cop-out explanation of butterfly effects creating branched worlds didn't instantly relieve the heroes of their errors. Instead, Ms. Marvel demonstrated how to design a more meticulous, tightly knit adventure that forbade Kamala from interacting with anyone else who might be able to change the course of time. The show also left open the questions of whether Aisha can be brought back to life, how the bangle may travel through time, and its connections to the hazy light dimension and jinns. And on that note, we're ending today's episode about Ms. Marvel. Hopefully today's video encouraged you to watch this enjoyable Disney Plus series, since we couldn't help but point out that a lot of people are missing all the fun. Thanks for watching today's video, and before you go, make sure to hit like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on. See you next time!